That's pretty high. Good morning, good morning. Salutations. What is percolating? Good morning, Mike. How are you, brother? Good morning, Sharon. Good morning, Carson. I don't know what's going on with this chat. It's showing me that no one's here. It says 0 people, but then I have chat comments. I think YouTube's being funny this morning. Come on, let's go, bub. Good morning, anyway. If you're here, thank you. Thank you. Oh, not this guy. Let's go. Come on, let's go. Before we have to deal with this fool and his dogs. Come here. Come on. Come here. Come on. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Come on. These guys are fucking idiots. I don't know why they feel like they can just let their dogs off leashes. Come on. Let's go. Come on. Let's go. Then they make it difficult for those of us who have puppies and are trying to train our dogs. God. Let's go. You know, it's like there's signs up that say keep your dog leashed. But these dudes don't care. One day, Erin was walking with Mav, and her sister was walking with one of her dogs, and one of these guys who I'm talking about, these gentlemen, that one of their dogs, this big giant black poodle, came running out the front door towards them, like barreling at him. She was, they were scared. I think even Erin said she screamed, and Maverick got freaked out. And I don't know. I've seen it a bunch of times on the walks where people are trying to walk their dog or their puppy, or they're literally in the middle of like training, They got training bites and all that stuff. And come on. And they're trying to teach them. And these guys literally just let their dogs go over there and go at them. And you could see the frustration on their face, stop your pulling, sir. There's just a lack of complete self-awareness, just none of it. And, I don't know if it's a cultural thing. They're French. They have a big black poodle, full-size poodle, and then this other big, I don't know what kind of dog, the Shaggy Dog, remember that movie? I don't know what kind of dog he was, but whatever that dog is, that's what the other one is that they have. Come here. Where you going? And he's being all weird. I don't know what's going on with you. What are you being all weird for? Anyway, sorry. It's just frustrating, It's like I see it over and over. It happens daily. I mean, I walk him twice a day, and they just come out, let the dogs out. And they're not bad dogs, but it doesn't matter if you have people who are here and they're trying to train their dogs, right? How to walk on a leash, how to stop, how to sit, how to, all that stuff. Where are you going? Let's go. Come on. Where are you going? Why do you keep pulling me that way? Come on. Come on. What are you doing, man? You're being strange. you're acting very strange. But yeah, you know, like I watched a girl the other day. She's got this little puppy. It's like, I don't know, like maybe like a Maltese or something, really, really tiny. And she's walking it on the leash, and she's making it stop and stay and sit and then come and then stop and then stay, and then she's giving it the little training bites as it's doing what it's supposed to. And their dog comes out, and they're watching, and they just go, oh, look at the puppy. Look at the puppy. Hope you're having a good start to your morning or afternoon, depending on where you might be in the world. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So I've been doing some researching on newspapers.com and newspaperarchive.com for old articles about hairy man, wild man, pre-1900. And I'll tell you right now, it's very difficult to find because you just look up keywords or whatever in dates, and it pulls out stuff. Most of the time it's like, you know, it pulls out the word hairy or man separate from each other. And then you're scrubbing through all these articles about, you know, something hairy or some man doing something that you don't really care about. But every so often you come across something that's pretty golden. And I came across an article. First of all, let's do this. You don't want to look at me. There we go. There's the star. How beautiful are these babies? So pretty. Every so often you come across something golden, and I found something July 30th, 1895 from Hancock, New York. There was 3 reports in one night of or a 24-hour period of a wild man. The first one was from a farmer who he heard all kinds of racket coming out from where his pigs were, the pigsty, and he thought maybe it was because they had put he had bees. He put a beehive in there somewhere temporarily, and he thought maybe something stirred the bees up and got the pigs all riled up. So he went out to see what it was. As he turned the corner to enter the sty, it was like a blind corner. He said he was grabbed by a wild man. Grabbed him. He said he obviously was shocked when it happened. He looked over at it, and then looked up at it. Seemed to be about, 7 foot or so tall. It was covered in hair, obviously, dark hair. And he said it had the strength of 10 men. Said he could not escape its grip. It threw him into the air. Hey, no. It threw him into the air, and he went unconscious when he landed, and then he woke up and was all, bruised, and the word they used was lame. I think those words are funny. I don't know why. I just like the way they word things back then. So anyway, he found that his prized pig was gone. It had taken his prized pig. There was damage to the pen, and there was a crowbar that had been bent and twisted on the ground, and he can only assume that it was done by the hairy man. Because what else would or could do it? So then later, he described it as a naked man covered in hair with a beard as long as a silver miner. And if you know what those beards look like back in the day, those usually had some of the longer beards. But yeah, that's what he described it as. and it took his horse. It took his horse. Not only did it take the horse, it grabbed the horse with ease. He described it as it wrung its neck. So broke its neck, and then dragged it off into the woods. They let out a terrible howl on its way. Later on, I think that day or the next day, so maybe it was more than a 24-hour period. Maybe it was like a 2-day period. Later on, either that day or the next day, I think it was the next day, they got a group of hunters together to go out in the woods and, hunt this thing down. And what they found was parts of the horse. They found parts of the horse. They found a ton of other bones of different animals, including deer, sheep, pigs, cows. So, oh yeah, I forgot to mention that. There were other farm animals in this area that were going missing that people kept contributing to, like people stealing them. But I guess that probably wasn't the case. So they find all these bones, they find part of the horse. Then they're going forward, and they see all these trees in this one area were all about the same size, and all of them were uprooted or snapped in ways that just baffled the men. And it was so many of them in this one area, and they continued on through it, and they found what they thought may have been, something akin to this thing's den. There were parts of trees that were on the ground. There was even more bones in this area. It was just creepy shit, man. Creepy stuff. It's crazy because, when you're talking about 1895, long time ago. This is before all of the Bigfoot, before Bigfoot became this big thing, before all the hubbub about Bigfoot and Sasquatch and Peter Byrne and Renee DeHinden and before any of those guys were part of anything. This is a long time before that. And you have reports still that are so similar to reports today. You have broken trees, snapped over in ways that weren't natural, uprooted from the ground. A horse with a broken, well, obviously watched it break its neck, but you hear this all the time. Maverick. My goodness. You still hear these reports all the time. And people find livestock that's been taken. It's got a broken neck. It's got a broken back leg, femur, whatever. It's just interesting. And then Mike Lucci sent an article about, I think it was last week, to a group of us. And it was about a hunter or a farmer who had captured one. He had captured a wild man. Get out of there. My dog is a wild man. He's like a caveman. I don't know what's wrong with him. Get out of there. Let's just freshly just put that down. Come on. But this guy caught one, and he caught what he called, he said he caught one and it had a cub that he reported to be about 3 months old. Where he got that figure, I have no idea, but he said it still was a baby. So I guess he was just kind of going off of what a 3-month-old human baby would look like. But that was an interesting article. I'll have to pull that one back up and read it again, and give you guys a detailed description of that one, because it was very, very interesting. Anytime there's any kind of baby involved, or when this guy claims he's caught one, he has one in a cage, trapped. That's a pretty extraordinary claim. But everything that you hear about in these reports is also similar. The way they look, the way they act. One guy reported the hairy man in Hancock, New York, as having a really bad human voice. And no, thank you. We don't know whose that is. And when somebody asked him what he meant by that, he said it sounded like it was doing a really bad human impression. And, to me, that makes sense. Come here, get up here. To me, that makes sense. Would or could have a strange, it sounds somewhat human, but not quite. So I thought that was really interesting. But all the reports are just so neat to me. And I'm going to look up some more and see what I can find. Reckless owners, dog owners. These guys are annoying. I'm sorry, those two. There's pretty good people around here. Like, for the most part, never had any problems with nobody, really. Just them. And you could see it written on people's faces when these guys come out and just let their dogs go interrupt their training and shit. It's just annoying. No self-awareness, or just no concern for others. I don't know. But anyway. Why do you feel they dumb them down? It's the 1890s and 1870s. It's a totally different time. There was nothing to go off of back then. This is all like brand new to everybody. And the way they looked at things was way different back then too. I think like more of the new stuff, like when it makes the news and shit, definitely tries to dumb it down. That stuff back then, that's not how I feel about it. I feel like it was just a lack of any kind of knowledge. And, back in those days, people had such a fear-based attitude to things. If it was new or if it was different, it was like they were just instantly terrified by it. And it was something normal for them to sensationalize shit, It was just kind of the way things were done. But I think the older articles, that's not how I feel about them. The newer stuff, when it makes the news, I feel like they just, they try to make you feel stupid. They make people feel stupid. They try to make it into a joke. But the older stuff, I don't feel that way so much about. I don't think they knew enough about it to even form that type of opinion yet, to say, we're going to try to make this, we're going to try to dumb this down. I know there's times where they would, for lack of having any knowledge on things and ignorance, I think the Winstead Wild Man, they would blame it on something that made sense to them, like an escaped circus monkey, right? Because that's what made sense. Nothing. Think about the first reports of a monster in the woods, hair-covered monster in the woods back in the 1800s. That in the 1800s, that would be heresy to talk about. So for them, I think it was a totally different ball game. Totally different ball game. Yeah. July 30th, 1895. The fellow dog walkers are older, in their 60s probably. They're from France. All right, you ready to go in? This porch has got to be fixed and painted, but that's a whole nother story. All right, I'm going to get him inside, guys. Tonight, Darkwood, 7 p.m. Please tune in. It's gonna be an exciting show. Hope you guys all have a wonderful day. I'll check you later. Till then, peace of chicken grease. I'm out.